Well, I really didn't plan on necessarily staying in a rock and roll group for 15 years. I mean, that was the last thing in my mind. But, you know, when it happened, and it happened so quickly, it was a wonderful, fortuitous thing. My name is Dennis Greene, and I'm a professor of law at the University of Dayton School of Law. I was a freshman at Columbia and joined a group called the Columbia Kingsmen, and we performed a cappella music on campus. And we were invited to perform at Spring Carnival, so we did our first big extravaganza. And it was when we changed the name from the Columbia Kingsmen to Sha Na Na. It was called Grease Under the Stars in the spring of 1969. When summer came, we were going to go our separate ways for the summer. So we wanted to see if we could work together as a group and really make money so it could be a regular summer job. And we fortuitously got booked into a club that turned out to be the club that was the big happening club in New York. It was called the Steve Paul Scene. And from playing that club, we were booked into Woodstock. It turned me from being, you know, a freshman at Columbia, that when I began my sophomore year, we were all of a sudden doing concerts every weekend all over the country, on campuses all over the country. We were playing on The Tonight Show, which was in those days shot in New York, Merv Griffin, all the big shows of the day. And yet, you know, the funny thing about it was I was still a full-time student. I thought I'd do it for maybe 6 months to a year or a year and a half at the most. I never imagined that I'd be doing it for 15 years like I ended up doing, but you know, it was so successful, and about 5 years in, we got the television series, which ran for 4 years, and we were traveling all over the world. So it turned into an incredible kind of magic carpet that took me into places I never would have been exposed to otherwise. But in the 15th year, it became sort of clear that if I was ever going to make a move, it was time to start to make it. So I went to graduate school at Harvard in interactive technology because I could see that computers were going to play a big role in the future of mass media. I went to Yale Law School subsequent to that, and when I finished up there, I was able to get a job at Columbia Pictures, so I went in as a vice president of features group. And then subsequently was promoted to a vice president of production, and that was my moving out to California, my California period. When I came to school here to teach, I came in with a joint appointment teaching both in the law school but also teaching in the communications department, where I work in the area of film and theater if I choose to. The Law and Leadership Summer Institute is designed towards giving students from underrepresented groups a formal study of law as a mechanism to trigger their intellectual savvy, their interest in education in a formal sense, and that will hopefully get them geared toward liking school, hopefully loving school, but at the end of the day, definitely committing them to getting to college and getting them to be interested in the possibility of going on beyond college, because they really become much more comfortable and see education as a means for success in life. And hopefully that will produce as well lawyers which will help to diversify the bar down the line when they go through high school successfully, college successfully, and then go on to law school or medical school or graduate school. I come from a comparable background to many of the students, and so despite that, I've been able to, you know, go to very, very prestigious schools and been able to have a very successful life, and so therefore it's a matter of trying to reconnect some of my experiences with them and hopefully fuel some of their interest along those lines.